Hey guys, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and it is Sunday, so we are once again doing breaches of the week. And once again, this week, same as the old week, on and on and on. Before I start, I'd like to give a shout out to the following people who sent me links, gave me heads up on all of this. As always, guys, you make my life a lot easier, so I greatly appreciate it. And I'm once again thanking Chris Fowlon, Craig McHugh, Dr. Christopher Gay, and Rebecca Rutherford for sending in information. And if you are watching this and have a tip on a data breach or something like that, please feel free to hit me up on any social media and you'll get a shout out too. We are going to start with Maryland. Now, they have the Department of Labor. Sensitive information on roughly 78,000 customers, including named social security numbers, were accessed by an unauthorized party. Now, the files impacted were from 2009, 2010, and 2014, and in total, these possibly contain first name, last name, social security number, dates of birth, city or county of residence, graduation dates, and record numbers. The files impacted on the Unemployment Insurance Service database were from 2013 and possibly contain first name, last name, and social security numbers. So if you have anything to do with the Maryland Department of Labor going back a few years, heads up to you. Moving on, we're going to be talking about the charity St. John Ambulance. Now, they got hit with a ransomware attack that they resolved in half an hour. Well, way to go, guys. That's a great response time. And though they're confident that the data had not been shared outside of St. John Ambulance, it is basically saying that everyone that has opened an account, booked, or attended a training course until February of 2019 may have been affected. So if you have anything to do with St. John Ambulance, heads up to you. Moving on, we're heading to the Miami police, and this is a serious one. About 1 terabyte of videos from Miami Police Department's body cams. These are the cams that the police use when they are interacting with suspects or the general public and all of that, was leaked and stored in unprotected internet-facing databases, including, according to the cybersecurity outfit that found these. But what makes this more damning is that they believe this information was actually sold on the dark web. The researchers go on to say, and I quote, besides Miami police, there's video leaking from police departments all over the U.S. I think we have a very serious issue with that in the sense that I think a lot of us are all for body cams, but if that information is not secured, that's a very serious problem. Moving on, we're going to be staying in Florida and heading to Sarasota. Now, the sheriff's office in Sarasota is investigating a statewide data breach. Apparently, a Miami employee of the Florida Department of Children and Family Services has been charged with leaking personal data to 6 other people in an organized fraud ring that made purchases in the Sarasota area. This is according to the Sarasota County Sheriff Department. The breach affected roughly 2,000 Floridians and amounted to $260,000 in retail theft, with some of those purchases coming from the University Town Center area, and those numbers are expected to increase as the investigation continues. So if you are in Florida, you may have been compromised if you have anything to do with the Department of Children and Family Services. That's a fraud ring they're busting right now. Heads up to you. Moving on, we're going to be talking about a company called Orvibe, I think Orvibo. This is a Chinese home solution company. They sell basically about 100 or so different smart solutions to manage energy, security systems, lighting systems, home entertainment devices, controls for HVAC in homes, offices, hotels, etc., etc., etc. Now, more than 2 billion user logs containing information on customers was leaked after a database was left exposed. Orvibo, I think that's how you pronounce it, has their own cloud. It was not secured. Email addresses, passwords, user geolocation, conversations recorded with smart cameras, usernames, IDs, IP addresses, account reset codes, device names, identity of devices accessing accounts, schedules, family names, and IDs were all compromised in this hit. Basically, if you have anything to do with Orvibo and you're using their cloud for your home or your business, heads up, you've got a serious problem. And moving on, we're going to be talking about Britain's largest private forensics provider, and they paid a ransom to hackers after their IT systems were hit in a cyber attack. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because basically the company Eurofins is believed to carry out about half of all private private forensic analysis, and they were targeted for ransomware in the beginning of June. Obviously, with the highly sophisticated operation, they did not disclose at the time that the ransom had been paid, and then the BBC eventually reported that it did. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that because of what Eurofins does, which is forensics, especially for technology, the amount of sensitive and damning information that hackers would have had access to get that kind of sophisticated ransomware into the system and then target it where they needed it to target, including backups, would have exposed an absolute ton of private information to the hackers that Eurofins had been collecting on what I assume are very sensitive clients, probably law enforcement in the UK, if not the rest of Europe. That is a very, very serious problem. And we are going to be talking about one more problem that is not nearly as big, and that is 7-Eleven. If you are not in the United States, you may not know them, but they are friggin' everywhere in the United States. They're convenience stores. Every town's got one, mine including. They just got hit. Cyber criminals exploited an improperly implemented password reset process in the new 7-Eleven app, and they were able to make unwanted charges on 900 customers' accounts before 7-Eleven caught the issue and corrected it. Now, 7-Eleven has promised to compensate the 900 victims of this and obviously fix the issue. So while it's a far cry from a forensics provider, 7-Eleven is pretty much everywhere, and their new app has some serious issues. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is I know millions of people use 7-Eleven, at least in the United States, if not other places. So take that for what it's worth. But those are your breaches of the week. Were you affected? Let me know. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.